The story starts with our protagonist's mourning about the death of someone close to him. In a flashback we can see his comrades died in front of his eyes, and he went berserk. Moving to the present, he has joined an magical academy. He helps a girl from falling. She thanks him when she finds out that he is a commoner, a literal nobody called Albert starts demeaning our protagonist Ray, and according to Rat Face the academy is for nobles and geniuses, but he doesn't give a damn about Rat Face. A red-haired girl by the name Amelia tells them to stop, and they stop since she is a high noble. She introduces herself and is impressed that he is the first student who is not a noble to enter the academy. She tells Ray to call her if he faces any difficulties. In the auditorium, our gorilla Barbie the principal gives them an encouraging speech and introduces herself as Abby. Then the student representative Amelia is called onto the stage and gives a speech and thanks everyone for giving her this opportunity. In class, Ray introduces himself to everyone and tells them that he is a commoner. During classes, Ray is distracted, so the professor gains his attention. The professor asks Amelia to explain the different magic ranks. She says they are categorized into 7 stages, with grand being the final category. The professor says that there are 7 grand mages that are a mystery to the world. The principal of the academy is one of them. A few of the others are known, but the Iceblade Sorcerer, the strongest of them all, is mysterious and his whereabouts remain a secret. We all know who he is anyways. Ugly Albert tells the professor that Ray will bring down the whole class, but gets owned by the professor. Then she demonstrates how the magic works and explains how magic is all about creating and destroying. Amelia has a question and the teacher answers it for her when a mysterious girl also asks her a question about antimaterial, and according to the professor it's a very rare type of magic. Amelia tries the spell and succeeds easily, so her bootlickers are already here praising her. Ray for some reason doesn't cast a magic, but the ugly rat cannot tolerate him. Just look at his face, guys. After classes he goes to the library and comes across the mysterious girl called Elisa. After introducing themselves and having a boring talk, they have a conversation about the grand sorcerers. We will skip it since it's boring. Afterwards he goes inside his room to come across his roommate Evy. He says he doesn't care about him being a commoner. They become friends because they are both obsessed with fitness. Early in the morning Ray is jogging and comes across a beautiful girl. He introduces himself and she is a third-year student called Rebecca. She is pleased to meet the Ray White, the first commoner to enter the academy. Our boy got crazy Rays. Evy says Ray is amazing since he knows Amelia and Rebecca, who are from the top 3 noble families, who are as strong as the royal family. While going to classes he bumps into a girl called Clarissa. She tries acting cocky, but after Ray calls her pigtails cute she gets impressed. Powerpuff Girl acquired. He is basically a lady killer. Afterwards he meets with Abby and she tells him to act normal since they were both comrades once. During the academy duel Ray is against the ugly Albert. Everyone underestimates him and the ugly rat tries to act cocky but gets destroyed by our boy, shocking the useless side characters as the rat tries to eat cheese and gets caught. Ray is actually the Iceblade Sorcerer. All of you pretty much guessed it. At night both the boys are doing their training. Look at these muscle heads training like maniacs, and Ray is about to join 2 clubs and Ray has something amazing to show to Evy. The next day he goes to the Environmental Research Club. Looks more like a gym to me. They have certain conditions and they are fearless and loves the environment. After Ray flexes his muscles everyone is amazed and thinks he has perfect muscles. They are even more amazed after learning he is a commoner and a gold rank hunter. This got me laughing. Just look at them celebrating half naked. Then he enters Rebecca's club, which is the gardening club. After hearing his reason to join because of his love for plants, she is impressed and wants him in, but the others think he is here for Rebecca. Well, they aren't wrong. Rebecca tells the girl called Sarah to decide since she protested the hardest. She tasks him to take care of a ruined garden and wants him to take care of this place and fix everything. As days pass by he works hard taking care of the place by doing various things. I am not a gardener, skipping it. Rebecca joins him and treats him to sandwiches. As they talk with each other she tells him that the academy is holding a competition to find the strongest magic swordsman. Rebecca is amazed by Ray's muscle and asks Ray if she can touch his muscles and gets fascinated. After 4 days everyone is amazed about the field he created and they allow him to join the club. The principal told him to take care of a spy that is hiding in the academy, which he agrees. While walking back home he encounters Clarissa and then they have a generic talk. Long story short, she has no friends because she likes bugs and her only friend is Ray. The next day the professor wants Ray to explain the categories of magic. Well, he answered everything and there are 7 categories. Everyone is shocked by his answers. Later that day they will have a group task inside a forest. Everyone in the class wants to form a group with Redhead. While Ray teams up with Evy, Ray offers Elisa to join and she thinks would drag them down. Amelia approaches them and wants to join them. Just look at ugly Albert getting angry. The objective of this task is to collect stamps and reach the center of the forest covered with monsters. Ray is very calm. Amelia talks about formation and whatnot, but Ray tells her he will be protecting them, and Amelia is confused how Ray is used to this. As the drill starts, our main characters of the story smoothly complete their task and Ray impresses them with his overpowered skills. During night time they talk about how amazing Ray and talk about Amelia mixing up with a commoner pretty generic and will make the video boring. In short, they treat her a person and not as a status symbol. In a flashback we see Ray talking with his master. The next day they hear a scream and Ray rushes to the rescue using magic enhancement. Ugly Rat is in danger. Ray uses his flashy magic to slay the ugly monster in half easily. Obviously Ugly Face doesn't thank him, instead bark at him. Ray's friends arrive at the scene after looking at the monster. Amelia thinks that Ray is hiding something. Someone mysterious is hiding behind a tree, turns the monster into an undead. For some reason the dead monster looks stronger than before. Our side characters are scared and Rat probably peed his pants. Ray's friends try to help but fails to harm it, but Ray manages to split the monster in half, and his friends are impressed by his skills. As for Ugly Face, his friends think they misunderstood Ray, but Rat ignores the question and Clarissa thinks he came to rescue her and start blushing. Like any generic anime, our protagonist's group wins, but the others don't like it and think Ray shouldn't be her. He literally saved them. Ugly Albert is angry, please get rid of him. Ray's master is getting restless to meet him and her maid tells her that he has arrived at her house. Ray and his beautiful master have a pretty boring talk. Apparently because of her she did some research on the end, but she tells him to not use the forbidden technique and it will take him 5 years to regain all his powers, but if he is in deep trouble he can use it. She tells him that the country is in trouble. She is currently researching the brain and it gets very boring skipping this. She hands him a letter that contains details about a cult that are experimenting on the brain and is trying to hire prominent mages. Ray and his beautiful master roam around the garden and she asks him if he made any friends, and well, he made a few. Moreover, he doesn't want to participate in the completion and support his friends. Afterward she hands him a training book. The next day as Ray was jogging and comes across Elisa, just look at her, she better be in the harem. She is going to the library, so Ray asks her if he can join, so she gets ready again to a more date type outfit and Ray thinks she looks fabulous. Inside the library they talk about books, but we like them, we like my recaps. After leaving the library they come across Clarissa and Ray invites her to join them for lunch. During lunch he praises both the girls so much so they start going crazy. Leave some girls for us. They enjoy the lunch and chat. Afterwards the girls bid him farewell and now he comes across Amelia. She is here for a gala, making her stressed. Ray praises her about how beautiful she looks and she gets shy. They talk about everything Ray did in the evening. Amelia gets jealous, she wants him to accompany her somewhere. She takes him to shopping and while she was showing him her amazing outfits, she sees a spider and rushes out hugging our Riz god. The professor of a boring talk about how this academy works and whatnot. We skip this. Good news, Ugly Albert guy got uglier and wants to kill Ray. Inside the environmental club they do dumb things. Ray goes to the gardening club and Sarah hands him spare keys to the club garden. After he enters the changing room he sees Rebecca half naked and makes no reaction, leaving the room after apologizing. After that the shy Rebecca serves him tea and Ray again apologizes to her and Rebecca feels extremely shy and tells him to forget whatever he saw. Then they browse through an old book that contains the collection of plants and flowers. Rebecca shows Ray the plants she has grown and these can perform magic. Rebecca is happy that there is someone that is actually interested. Usually everyone declines being close with her because of her status, but when it comes to Ray she can speak freely with him. Ray decides to lend the book from her to learn more. Rebecca asks Ray if he will attend the competition and he says that he will support Amelia as she is a strong contender, but Rebecca tells him that the daughter of the #1 family is also going to participate. The next day the instructor explains them the rules and Amelia easily wins her battle and qualifies for the next round. She challenges Ray to fight, but the instructor tells him that he is not participating, but she insists, so he agrees, and as the duel progresses Amelia is holding her own against him, but when Ray remembered a certain someone he lost control and almost killed Amelia but stopped himself and Amelia won the fight. As everyone congratulates her Amelia thinks Ray was going easy on her. After that all of them were enjoying lunch and Amelia asks Ray where he learned his swordsmanship. Ray tells them that he learned everything from his master but the training was brutal. Ugly Rat confronts Ray and challenges him to a duel, which Ray agrees. As the duel arena is set Ray's group thinks they are going overboard with a huge formation. Ugly Albert throws a sword and starts the battle. Ray grabs onto the sword and dodges his attacks. Ugly Bastard has a past, but we skip that Joker's boring and worthless past. Ugly Rat attacks Ray but he cuts through his spells, shocking everyone. As Trash continues to throw spells Ray dodges the attack and pisses him so much he launches an extremely strong attack, but Ray somehow manages to cut through the attack and worthless Trash finally loses his will to fight and Amelia asks Ray to explain himself. Suddenly all of them get suppressed by a force. In a conjuring-like voice the mysterious ghost comes out and it turns out to be the professor. Ray figures out that she is from the cult that researches the brain and she was the one that summoned the monster during the drill and thinks they will make fine specimens. The professor stays far away from Ray and attacks him with a snake-like spell and Ray avoids it and charges towards her. She targets his friends so he decides to unseal his powers and stops her attack, freezing the area. Ray turns ice into multiple swords and the half-battery gets scared and Ray says that the Iceblade Sorcerer skill was passed on to him and he easily overpowers her and destroys all her magic. As she tries to escape Ray injures her and she starts begging him and launches a sneak attack but he is unfazed. Now she injects a chemical in her brain and literally starts transforming. What is Ray doing waiting for her to transform? The barrier breaks down as she has transformed into a monster. She tries to overpower him but his swords are endless. This is not even 5% of his true powers. As she launches an attack Ray freezes time and cuts through her magic. Ray explains to her that he created a code that can alter magic to its core and revert magic to its origin. Monster Professor is attacking aggressively and Ray for some reason starts freezing. The monster figures out that he can't control his powers but Ray uses a strong spell and freezes her and using his origin magic he reverses the effects and faints. In a flashback Ray's master finds the young Ray and takes him to her comrades and they start making fun of her for being a mother but Pink Hair makes fun of her and Lydia gets angry, after explaining to everyone how she found him. In the evening Pink Hair is trying to talk to Ray but he doesn't speak but when Lydia tries to speak he tells her his name. Pink Hair Carol is reading him a picture book and along with Lydia they get along pretty well. At night Abby tells him to take care of the Ray situation and she can't take him in as she is a soldier. The next day Pinky starts fighting with everyone and says she will take care of him and won't leave him behind and shuts everyone. Abby tells the commander to give him to an orphanage and it's up to Lydia to decide. She notices Ray hiding as he comes out to everyone and Lydia asks him what he wants and Ray tells her that he wants to stay. Hearing this Lydia tells the commander that she will take responsibility for Ray and so he becomes a part of their squad. 6 years have passed and they are on the battlefield. Ray uses thousands of blades and destroys the enemy squad, and the enemies thinks this kid is too strong. Lydia announces the battlefield and they figure out that modern sorcery is used to cause such destruction. According to the commander's report 2 of the 7 grand mages have died and according to Abby it's because of the involvement of an enemy kingdom. They tells Ray that it's very dangerous and he is allowed to not attend it but Ray considers them family and will not leave them alone. In the battlefield his big brother Howard gets killed and Ray goes complete berserk. The present Ray wakes up from his sleep. His master is here for him and he apologizes to her for using his powers but Lydia consoles him and tells him to meet her after he becomes well. After she leaves Abby tells Ray that she didn't want him in the academy because of how much pain he has endured and this academy would be hard for him as a commoner but his master requested Abby that Ray should have friends and try to lead a normal life for a while so she egged her to enroll him into the academy, and Lydia starts crying like a baby while Abby leaves and Ray gets emotional. After that his friends come to visit him and he tells them the truth and that he lost control over his powers and seriously injured his master. After that he put a seal on his body to control his magic and his friends console him and Amelia hugs him. At night Ugly Rat comes and apologizes to him and Ray accepts it, skipping the rest. The next day the academy, the new instructor is Carol and seeing her Ray gets nervous. In a bath Amelia thinks about Ray's powers and think they are from 2 different worlds and thinks if Ray like her. Moving on to Carol, she explains the sword competition and shows the fixtures, and last year Rebecca won the competition and she tells everyone this year the completion will be tough. Ray seems irritated and after classes he goes to Abby and tells her to kick her out and he hates her nature. While talking Carol gets behind him and starts sticking on to him. She is apparently obsessed with him. During the mock battles Clarissa asks Ray who is going to win and he figures it out instantly. Moving on to Amelia, she dominates her opponent but Ray thinks that she has no happiness. Amelia's father told her to win the competition and defeat Ariane, the other girl from the top noble family, and not bring shame to the family. In the club Ray asks Rebecca just how strong Ariane is and according to her she is very strong and she fights with all her might but they think Rebecca will win like last year. The next day Amelia owns Albert and wins the first place but Ugly Rat has become a more likable character. At night Ray looks at the book his master provided. The next day he confronts Amelia and tells her that she is being too nervous, that she won't reach her potential and thinks she will lose as Ariane is stronger than her. Ray offers to train her as shows her the manual his master provided and gives a speech and she agrees to accept it. In a flashback we see that Amelia was all alone in a party and that's where she met Ariane and they became very good friends afterwards doing various activities and soon they became best friends, but after they grew up Ariane destroyed her in a battle and she felt humiliated and after that day Amelia walked away and soon enough she gets engulfed in her status. In the morning Amelia is looking for Ray when a masked Ray jumps to the scene and wears a mask and starts throwing instructions. He orders her to run 20 kilometers without any body enhancements, and after trying her best she is drained. In class she is sleeping because of the intense training. He is pushing her very hard. At night she goes to sleep and has a dream about Ariane and falls down when Elisa consoles her, and so does Clarissa, when she notices a Ray charging towards her and flirts with her, making her shy, and she wakes up from her sleep. Ray is here super early in the morning and tells her to get ready. Sarah gets angry for shouting like retard in the girls' dormitory, and he finds her adorable when he notices Amelia escape and Ray goes after her. While looking for her he comes across Albert. The newly reformed Albert looks good and they have a good boring talk, but Albert seems matured. Elisa is fixing Clarissa's hair when Ray comes inside the library and uses his magic to look for her and finds her hiding under a table and drags her out of the classroom and takes her to training. Next he goes to his environmental club and asks for something to help out Amelia, and the next day she is doing her training and has improved greatly. When a girl encourages her and she even greets Rebecca, she is going to Diam Academy to meet Ariane as a girl. Using a cardboard box he roams around the academy when she finds a girl crying for some reason. She is probably Ariane's sister. This ends the video. Part 2 will be uploaded in a day or two. Make sure to like and subscribe.